Okay, hopefully this will be a quick screencast. This is just for you to check your answers for numbers 11 through 18. You were supposed to go through and find the subordinating conjunction to help you find the dependent clause. If you have not done that for numbers 11 through 18, you need to stop and go do that right now. This is for you to check your answers, so you need to get a checking pen. And it's not for a grade, it's just to give me an idea if this is something that we need to spend a little bit more time on. So you do need to make sure that you're giving me an honest feedback on how you did on this. All right, so number 11, the subordinating conjunction was although. That tells us where the dependent clause starts. So the clause is although the foster grandparent program is more than 30 years old. The subject in the sentence is the grandparent program, and the verb is. In number 12, the subordinating conjunction is so that. That tells me where the dependent clause begins, so that hospitalized and institutionalized children could get special attention. Subject is children, and the verb phrase is get. Number 13, your subordinating conjunction is who, which tells you where the dependent clause begins. Who is at least 60 years old and meets other requirements. Your subject here is a little tricky because the subject of the clause is actually your subordinating conjunction. It's called an interrogative pronoun. It refers to an unknown who, an unknown person, who is your verb. After a volunteer is trained, he or she is assigned 2 children. After is your subordinating conjunction, tells you where the clause begins after a volunteer is trained. Now this could have been a tricky one. If you're looking for prepositional phrases as well, this one looks like it could be a preposition because it has after, and there is a noun after it, after a volunteer. But we've got to really think about where that phrasing ends. It ends at the comma, and we see that volunteer is used as a subject and is trained is your verb. Number 15, because foster grandparents need to get to know their grandchildren, they visit the children each day. Because is your subordinating conjunction, tells you where your clause begins. Because foster grandparents need to get to know their grandchildren. Subject is grandparents, and need is your verb. These daily visits last for 2 hours so that the children can get careful attention from their foster grandparents. So that is your subordinating conjunction, tells you that your clause begins there so that the children can get careful attention from their foster grandparents. Children is your subject, can get is your verb phrase. Although in number 17, your subordinating conjunction, find the end of that phrasing, although foster grandparents are volunteers. Your subject is grandparents, and your verb is are. And the last one, number 18, while is your subordinating conjunction, tells you where your clause begins, while they serve. Easy one to find your subject and verb. You only have 2 words left. They is the subject, and serve is your verb. Now, before you end this and turn this paper in, I would like for you to go back to the very first slide that we did, and I want you to find any of the subordinating conjunctions or any of the dependent clauses that were used as transitions. We look for transitions at the beginning of a sentence. So I want you to highlight any of our sentences, our clauses, that were also used as transitions. So while was at the beginning of a sentence. Here's our comma, that's our hint. Number 2 and 3 didn't work. Number 4, although Terry likes a good game of cards, starts at the beginning. There's your comma, that's your hint. Number 5. Number 7. Number 8 was I. That's not a preposition or a subordinating conjunction or an infinitive or an adverb. Same with the or bill. All of these had our clauses close at the end of the... Oh, I scratched that. I forgot number 8 was a typo. 8 was if every day were like this one. And that was a subordinating conjunction and a dependent clause. My bad. All right, these should be easy to identify because we just did them. You're looking for anywhere that you had your dependent clause at the beginning of the sentence. So number 11, number 14, number 15, and number 17 should be highlighted. All right, now that you're done, you can turn your paper in and then silent read for the rest of the period.